Good morning, Jerly Auntie, and thank you so much for joining me today. I'm really looking forward to having a conversation, especially given your work as the author of Navigating Relationships and The Thomas's Road to Realization. So, I want this interview to be a discussion on the various aspects of your life. So, from your early years to your present, and exploring the significant events that have shaped who you are. So, to start, could you tell me a little bit about your childhood and family background?
I'm basically from Kerala, which is a beautiful South Indian state in India. But my father was in the Indian Defense Services, so he moved around in India, and we used to move with him. So I've lived in various places across India.
What major events or experiences in your life have had the most significant impact on you?
Well, the very fact that I've lived in a different environment where different kinds of people or people from different background live together had a significant influence on me. I have this belief that our childhood shapes our mindset. So am blessed to have a secular and accepting mindset. So that was, in fact, the one of the fundamental things which made me question all this orthodox attitudes, dogmatic attitudes, and it resulted in my first book. So another thing that influenced me was my marriage. Again, the culturally, like we are not encouraged to have any kind of affairs before marriage. So uh, I had no idea about men. So I ended up with suddenly I find myself married. So it had a very negative influence on my relationship, I believe. So I think again after my husband's death, I questioned different aspects of marriage. For example, I questioned this dogmatic attitude, this kind of fundamentalistic belief that you have to have only one person in your life, or, I mean, you cannot make mistakes in a marriage, or the first marriage has to survive, that you cannot divorce. So, all these kind of things that are culturally imbued in us, I question that. So, these were the two major things that influenced me.
How did you maintain your emotional strength in the face of this adversity?
During my marriage, I kind of reflected a lot. I thought about what could be wrong. Is it in me? I keep it always open. I try to think about, is it me or is it our childhood upbringing? So I kind of think of everything, every possibilities. I try to everything. So I think the analytical thinking skills that I inherently have a rational mind. I have an objective mind. I try to be objective most of the time. Of course, it doesn't happen all the time, but that is there in me. So I'm also fairly non-judgmental. I look from the other person's perspective also. So all these things helps me. And then when I'm really down in the dumps, I write. Writing has a cathartic influence on me. In fact, that is my two books stand testimony to that. I mean, they helped me through my certain situations in my life. Uh, they are the things that healed me. Writing my books healed me.
I see. And I understand that you have touched upon this before, but how could you discuss your traditional gender roles have impacted your life choices and opportunities?
Honestly, I didn't experience too much of discrimination. My parents wanted me to study. They did not force me to, to get a job, or did not put any pressure on me. So, in a way that in our society at that time, it was not very essential for a woman to get a job. So that did not appear as negative to me because I'm a bit artistic. Like I paint, I write. So artistic people do not really like routines and having to face a lot of other people in a job scenario. It can be a little bit taxing for them. So I was totally fine with that. But it was my marriage that taught me the importance of self dependence, financial independence, how that is so fundamental. So I never questioned the gender roles as such, because even now I feel that when women take up this aspect of financial independence, they it is not as if men also take up the household activities. I mean, it doesn't happen automatically because they have. no real need to do that. I mean, they feel they're fine with that. So that kind of thing. I mean, women might be taking up, I mean, biting off more than they chew. I mean, you have to have a balance in life. So unless there is an egalitarian relationship, like unless your partner also helps you with the household tasks, it's like taking too much on you, and uh, nobody to help you out in any area. So I don't have too much of a problem with gender roles as such.
I see. I see. And you talked about how writing has been your greatest source of support, but have there ever been other sources of support in during your difficult times, and how have they helped you?
My parents have been a great support to me. There are people who, in such situations, like if their husband dies or something like that happens, they may not have any support from any place. But in my case, I was blessed with wonderful parents. I have their support all the time. I was, in fact, staying with them for close to 8 years before I moved. They take care of my children, so I was free to do, like, I was quite the man after that, because they were taking care of everything at the home front, and I was just free to devote myself to my work. So that kind of thing happened, and I am really thankful for that. Also, my children, they are my greatest emotional support. They have known me from the time they were born, so that relationship is unique. You can be insecure with another person, but you're never insecure with your own child, because they know you in and out. I say they are Jerly proof. That is, no matter what I do, no matter, I mean, I can always feel secure in their love. So that security that I get from their love, that is also a great support.
Got it. Great. And what personal qualities or strengths do you believe have been a crucial in overcoming your hardships?
Apart from my analytical skills that I was talking to you about, I think I'm quite resilient. I believe in not giving up no matter what. Um, so I keep trying. I try other ways. I might not always follow the same way or the traditional thinking. I think out of the box, and some way or the other, I try to resolve my circumstances. And even if in situations where I feel it's important to let go, it's not. I consider that's the wisest choice there, rather than giving up. So that resilience coming back up from all kinds of situation, that has helped me. Apart from that, I have a faith in a greater power, because I've experienced it in my life. Like, some things where it's not your thinking or your own decision for yourself that works out. You realize that there is another power that is nudging you along. So I've seen that, and I have a deep belief in that other power that helps me. So I think that is also my strength, and it helps me make sense of what happens in my life, rather than always thinking, okay, no, I wanted this. So it gives me a sense of acceptance, and in fact, I'm satisfied with whatever happens, because I believe in another power.
Got it. And could you talk about any mental health struggles you've faced and the resources you found helpful during these hard times?
In terms of mental struggles, yes, there have been periods in my life where I have felt extremely low. The reasons often have been that I have felt misunderstood or not accepted. I have, like, I tend to do what I believe in, but that may not be what everybody else believes in. So that can be a problem, because you live in a world where you interact with others, and when you face rejection for your choices and all that, it affects you. But then I am a Virgo, and I believe in, like, I think the qualities that they say about Virgo is there in me. That is, I'm a critic, so that means I'm a self-critic also. I'm my greatest critic, and if I don't blame myself, I really don't need to bother about what others think about me. So that kind of gives me a strength to face all the rejection, negativity, and to be confident in myself and to proceed with whatever I believe in. So I guess that is what gives me strength.
Got it. And I understand we've gone over a lot through this interview. So, as a final message, what lessons or advice would you like to pass on to the younger generations of women facing similar challenges?
I would tell women that they should recognize their power. They are extremely powerful, probably they are stronger than men in every way. But it so happens that society suppresses power. So if people tell you things that kind of undermine who you are, it's because they are afraid of you. Try to see the reality behind what is presented to you. For example, the interpretations of various, mythological or biblical or religious accounts. Those interpretations are given by society, by people, by men, possibly. For example, one of the interpretations, it was a woman, Eve, who tempted Adam to do the first sin of disobedience and having the apple from the tree of wisdom or knowledge. But from my experience, I mean, you should not just be, you shouldn't, I don't believe in saying something is incorrect just because you are of that gender. No. But from your own experience, what do you feel? From my own experiences with men, with people, with society, I feel that in reality, I feel that this is a masculine interpretation to control women. When I reflect on this story as a woman from my experiences, I see it differently. If God provided a tree of wisdom in the garden, it was obviously to have from it. And the woman had the capacity to digest that, to have it. And whereas the man probably was distracted by other things, he did not have the whole. I mean, he did not he did not imbibe it in. So, I mean, how the problems that women face, that I realize from my experience, what women face is that they are dealing with partners who are not half as evolved as they are. So their sorrows don't come from the disobedience, as people say. So if something is provided, it is for you to take. So I don't see it that way. So I always interpret things from my circumstances. So I want women and even young people, they should not just be influenced by everything that is around them. They should question it, and they should question it from their own experiences, from their own analytical thinking, and decide. So this is my advice, to have good thinking skills. In fact, that is what I keep reiterating in my book, that you should think. Both of my books encourage children and youngsters to think beyond the dogma, to think beyond what has been taught to you. So that is my final piece of advice.
Wow, great. So, thank you again for your time and offering such meaningful perspectives to us. And your journey is truly inspiring, and I'm sure it would resonate with the people in my classroom. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, Sid, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you.